You like stocks still where they are right now?
We do.
Till when?
We think that the Fed pivot that started just about 2 months ago with very favorable comments from the Fed and Jerome Powell continues. The breadth of the markets looks very good at this point. You've got more than 60% of stocks over their 200-day moving average. You don't see a lot of ebullience in the market as well. Yes, there are some surveys that look a little bit overbought when you look at 4-week ETF flows. You don't see very big kind of powerful moves coming into the market with cash coming off the sidelines. And then some of the risks have also dissipated, right? Just a month ago, the markets were pricing in 170 basis points of Fed cuts. They're only pricing in about 90 basis points at this point. Mm-hmm. So some of the risks that you had, which were kind of really getting some feverish in the markets, have kind of backed down a bit, which makes us much more optimistic.
Okay, but well, then what's this pivot point? When does it end?
So we've seen this. Well, we've seen this pattern.
I have a pen here, and a calendar.
Okay. I'm not that good.
June. You got it. That's what you said. It's what you told our people. It ends in June.
So
because of the election.
This is what we've seen in previous election years. Okay. Not all election years, but we could see this setup happening again.
And it goes down 10%.
The market.
Why are you? Let her answer the question.
All right, go ahead.
Goodness.
Go ahead.
Everyone's had too much coffee today.
No, I don't. I can't have caffeine.
Really?
GERD.
This is like you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Did you not know that?
I didn't.
Yeah, I require coffee. Continue on.
Like 5 cups, he does.
Okay, I don't need that many.
No, I don't do 5.
But I think
you
the real
would.
issue.
They kept bringing them.
2 or 3.
Well, you do 3.
Okay, back on task. Back on task, everyone.
June, down 10%.
No, so this is what happens. We saw this happen in 2000. We saw it happen in 04. We saw it happen in 16. A lot of times, markets have a lot of good steam into the election, and right around, the markets don't pay much attention to it right now. You haven't had Super Tuesday. Yes, we're paying attention to kind of who the front runners are, but it hasn't really come front and center to the market's psyche and the market's attention. That usually starts to happen right at the end of primary season, right around June, right? And then markets kind of start to wobble because they say, well, we're not sure who's going to be president. And generally during the summer months, you'll get some agita. You'll have some type of peak to trough decline in equities that gets everybody a little bit nervous. And then usually 3 to 4 weeks before the election, it's generally decided that there's going to be a winner. We will have a new U.S. president. And the market tends to find
So are
its
you supposed to play this for the next couple months?
Bottoms in mid-October.
Well, hang on.
And make sure that you're going to, and then make sure that you're out for the summer?
Look, don't forget, at Voya, we're investing for retirement money. My horizon is 40 years. I'm just telling you what we think is likely to happen because you've got a very big upcoming geopolitical event, which has tended to cause some weakness in equities. We, as long-term investors, would invest through it. But I would say that you're likely to have a little bit of indigestion because elections generally don't go unnoticed by the market. They do tend to cause a pullback, and they do tend to cause some nervousness.
This election is a little bit different than,
to say the least.
Most elections. So you're investing for someone retiring in 40 years. So this is almost customized for me.
Yes, just about.
Andrew?
Yes. For 40 years, I heard.
40 years.
I caught it. I am listening.
That's very nice of you.
I do work hard for you.
That's really nice that you were able to do that. So would you buy NVIDIA at this point still?
So I cannot talk stocks. I'm not a bottom-up stock picker.
Could you whisper it to me?
I would say one thing that I think is just interesting, and this is just a general statement about NVIDIA. I know everyone's very worked up about how high the multiple is going. But the multiple has been backed up by earnings growth. And if it's backed up by earnings growth in general, and this is not anything specific to a company, but when you see multiples going up and earnings growth behind it, you're generally less vulnerable. But there'll be a blow-off phase. I mean, there's a big concentration in obesity drugs and in this AI phase, but we're using AI on our team. We find it to be really helpful. It's a great productivity enhancer. We see the benefits of it in our work.
And she said, so we get bottoms in October, then we become convinced we're going to have a president. Well, this is the first time in history that it's going to be either Joe Biden or Donald Trump.
It is. So
that makes it a little different.
It's this really peculiar combination.
When we realize that, the market might not. Are you factoring in that?
I would say somebody will be reelected in January. Somebody will be at the inauguration in January of 25.
You might be right about someone being reelected. if it's those two individuals. Well, because it would be a re-election in either case.
Yes, it is re-election in either case, which is really interesting.
Which is really strange.
So that throws a whole nother sense of concern into it.
So to recap, she believes the Fed pivot that started 2 months ago is still continuing. She said she's optimistic about the Fed's decisions. She said she agrees that some stocks are overbought, but most of the stocks aren't. More than 60% of stocks are above their 200-day moving average, guys. That's signaling great market breadth. She remains optimistic on equities, but this is an election year which tends to rally up to the election, then get very uncertain right before the president has decided, which comes with a drop in markets. Then they bottom, and then they rally again. She said equities should bottom by mid-October. She suggests just to invest through the whole thing, though, just dollar cost average in. She said there will be a blow-off phase in NVIDIA, but in general, when stocks' earnings back up their stock price gain, it makes the stock a lot more stable. So that's all she had to say about it. She can't comment on individual stocks, but that sounded pretty optimistic. Either way, someone will be re-elected this year, guys. It sounds like it's only Donald Trump or Biden, so we've got two options. What are we gonna do? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Catch you in the next one.